Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pardo, and I'm sitting across from my man, Matt Borelli. How you doing, Matt?
I've been better, but
You sound like you've been better.
yeah. Well, I'm here. That's okay.
I agree. It's been a while since I've gotten to hang out with you and see you. So definitely appreciate you coming out, even though you're clearly not feeling well.
Yeah. Well, that's just how it is sometimes. The podcast comes first.
Well, you were really sick for a while there. That's why we didn't have you on the show because you were really sick.
Yeah.
Not deathly sick,
All right.
but really sick.
I'm feeling better. Appearances to the contrary, but yeah, obviously still not totally back in my game yet. But another trip to the doctor's office. I'm sure I'll be fine after they pump me up full of more antibiotics or whatever it is they're gonna give me this time.
Whatever they're going to give you, you will just take whatever it is they give you.
I don't even bother to look at the labels. I just
Anybody with a lab coat could just give you anything.
Pretty
and
much.
You'd be like, I got this. I'm good.
That's all the credentials I need.
Oh man, it's been quite a week for me, man. So, well, first off, I gotta say this is episode 243 of the Dreamers Podcast, and my guest this week on Tuesday, because today's Sunday when we're recording this. On Tuesday is the amazing Christian Leonard, who, well, not so recently, but recently won the Three Rivers Festival Queen. She became the Three Rivers Festival Queen, which actually puts her in the running to run for Miss West Virginia, which puts her in the running to be Miss America, and puts her in the running to be Miss Universe. So it's a long thing, but she also has a long way to go. She's also quite young for what she's accomplishing, not just in the charity space, but also in the just in general, like at the. Sorry, I'm very tired. The pageantry thing, yeah, pageantry stuff. So anyway, she's my guest. You can check that out if you're listening on Tuesday or after Tuesday. Just stay tuned until after the jump to listen to the interview with me and Christian Leonard. If not, if you're listening on Sunday, just wait till Tuesday and you can check it out. So I wanted to talk about Movie Mail real quick. So Melissa and I had been going over some of the numbers and stuff like that, and we actually wound up lowering the price for our membership down to $3.99 per month, which was really cool. So for anyone who doesn't know, Movie Mail is like a inspirational or motivational, henceforth the name Movie, analog mail service. So basically you pack up a letter, inspirational story, inspirational quotes, inspirational stuff. If you have bracelets, like I have bracelets here, shout out to Eric Thomas, Anthony Hayes, and Amy J, and then also WordCamp NYC for the ones that I have here on my mic. And you can pack all that up, anything that fits into an envelope, and send it off to Movie Mail, and then Movie Mail will send that letter off to another Movie Mail member. So you don't know who's going to get your letter, and then you don't know who's going to whose letter you're going to receive. Really neat. Yeah, hashtag inspire Jessica Sackman. She works with Eric. So yeah, it's a really neat concept, and we're really happy to bring it to people, and we're really happy to bring it down to this price of $3.99. And then we have a Facebook community that goes with it, and we're doing some special giveaways and stuff like that to go along with it. So we're really proud of what we're able to accomplish with that. And then we also want to donate too to like Give Kids the World and some other charities as we continue to grow that business and that service. So I gotta talk. I gotta say, Matt, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to start in July shooting YouTube videos and then turning those YouTube videos like short, like 4 or 5 minute episodes into more episodes of Dreamers Podcast. And I honestly haven't had the time to do it. I've just been so swamped, especially with MapCon coming up. If you don't know what MapCon is, it's the Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference. It's here in the Mid-Atlantic it's here, well, right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And this year we're expecting 150 people, give or take. I mean, we're on track. So we're at like 60 some members signed up so far. So we're on track, as long as, there's quite a few people I know that are supposed to be coming, haven't signed up yet. So gotta get them on board, because I want to get t-shirts for everybody. Like this year, my man Michael O'Neill really drove it home as to why I should go out of my way to get really nice shirts this year. American Apparel shirts, not just the Gildan shirts that we got from last year, and the shirts I've been using for other stuff. So it's tough because it is more expensive, but at the same time, like, I want to provide like an awesome shirt that people want. So actually, I'm gonna switch my camera over real quick. I think this is the right one. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the shirt that we will be giving away. Matt, I don't know if you can see that, like, over here on my right monitor. This is the shirt that we're going to be giving away. It says podcaster in a really awesome font. It says hashtag MapCon 2016, which actually it's hashtag MapCon, but it's still, we still might change it. We're not married to it just yet, but this is the design. This is where we're heading. This is the color that we're looking at. So it all comes down to how much the cost is going to be, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, so it's taken up a ton of my time leading up, and not to mention the fact that I've been working with a lot more clients lately on web design work, and even Facebook ads now. Like, I'm doing a couple Facebook ads for a couple different clients. One that found me because of doing the Rotary Club talks. So that was really awesome, getting to have that, like, really, have it being brought up by somebody else that was at the meeting to somebody who wasn't at the meeting, and then having them give me a call. So I really, really appreciate that confidence in what I'm able to offer just from the talk, the 20-minute talk and questions and answers that I gave them at the talk. So it's really interesting. So so MapCon is coming up very quickly. You can get your tickets at midatlanticpodcast.com, and if you can't make it, there is the possibility you can get a virtual ticket, which is included with the regular ticket. So you could get all the conference stuff and everything. And we've been doing I've been doing these interviews with all the speakers and some of the sponsors from MapCon. So it's really been awesome, especially on Facebook Live, getting to share that knowledge of, like, what podcasting means to these other people. So Matt, since you're here, I want to ask you, what does podcasting mean to you?
Oh, for me, podcasting, I think, is just it's an evolution of what I grew up listening to on the radio, which is mainly talk radio. But the thing with talk radio is that you're very limited to whatever the host decided to talk about that week, and there was only so many stations to really go through. Where nowadays with podcasting, I can pick my particular interests and guarantee somebody's talking about it. So I can find stuff, about news, people commenting on the news, technology, mythology, like whatever you can think of, it's out there, and it's whenever I want it. If I want to listen to it at 10 o'clock at night, I can. If I want to listen to it on drive to work, I can, which to me is so incredible compared to the days of, I got tuned into this crackly radio. I can barely hear the guy. It's cutting in and out as I'm passing over state lines. And
the topic might not be that interesting.
Right, and then it's like I'm flipping through stations. I'm just sitting here bored. There's nothing to listen to. So it's great. And plus the fact that it's free for the most part, and also anybody can do it. I mean, it opens up a whole ton of possibilities. And, granted, not everybody's podcast is going to be interesting. Not everybody's cut out to...
Not as interesting as this show, that's for sure.
But the thing is, at least it's a venue for people that, anybody that has an interest, there's really no excuse not to go out and just, speak your piece.
I'd agree. I think that it does open up a lot of doors for people that have passions that aren't mainstream passions.
Sure.
That you wouldn't find even in a top 10 or top 20 radio market. So so podcasting definitely opens up those doors for people to connect with others that are really passionate about a specific topic that nobody else really cares about.
That's the other thing too. Like it fosters more of a community than a radio show. Because I mean, again, you've got it's a niche, usually a niche thing. You got forums, people can go in there, discuss, and rate and review different shows, and make suggestions. So it's cool. It's I can't remember the last time I've tuned into terrestrial radio. That's the truth.
Sports radio is the only thing that I'll tune into from time to time, but even that, like they don't always talk about sports, and I get it. Like if you're always listening to it, then you probably would enjoy them to talk about something else, movies or some kind of pop topic news or something to that effect. But because I'm only tuning in like for a very small amount of time, I'm either getting commercials or a lot of times I'm getting things that aren't sports. And if I want not sports, I'll go to a podcast or just listen to music, which is my go-to de facto thing 99% of the time. So if you have a podcast, if you want to start a podcast, getting to MapCon, go to middleatlanticpodcast.com/discount, and you can get yourself a $10 off ticket to come to the conference. It's gonna be magical. There's so many details and everything. I don't want to get all up in it, but yeah. So that has taken up a lot of my time. Obviously, Ava has taken up a lot of my time. It's been really tough. And last week, no, I don't know if you heard this, Matt. You probably didn't, being sick and all. But I announced that I was going to try and challenge myself to only work 20 to 25 hours per week so that I could take care of Ava. After the conference. Right now, like with the conference coming up, there's just too many things going on. I mean, on top of that, this week I'm supposed to pretty much write my third book called Sales Won't Save Your Business. So on top of all that, now with that said, Ava and Melissa aren't around this week. They went on a small vacation with the rest of Melissa's family, and I'll go down there. I think we'll go down Tuesday night and maybe hang around till Wednesday sometime. But my point is I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and putting an emphasis on 20 to 25 hours a week on work is going to be really tough for me. I mean, I know that Matt, how much I love working. I mean, for 2.5 years now, I've worked, I can't even tell you how many hours. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about work because I love and I'm so passionate about what it is that I do. So it's really disturbing. No, I don't know. I think disturbing is too hard. But see, this is what I miss having you here, Matt, because you can give me words that I can't think of off the top of my head. It's really disparaging.
Yeah.
Disparaging.
Yeah.
Okay, disparaging to me to think that like I'm gonna have to do something that I'm not comfortable with doing, and that's putting work on the back burner. And not to say like my clients would be on the back burner or anything like that, but when I'm not working, Matt, I have an itch that I can't scratch that's related to the idea that I need to be working. I need to be doing something or I'm falling behind. And in the last, well, actually all of this year, it's been different for me prior to going back to May of 2014. It's been different this year because I have found other ways of bringing in income, and now I'm looking at what I did last year, which was around $10,000 revenue, and saying, okay, that was great. I mean, that was my second year, or really my first full year. So 6 months in to the year. So a year and a half in, second calendar year, made $10,000 in 1 year. And it's okay, that's awesome, but it's not enough. It's not enough to just keep doing what I'm doing. So this year I've been able to make a lot more money doing a lot of different things, and really putting that focus on amplifying the things that I do to make it better. And shout out to Joey Kissimmee from Appendipity, because like we had an amazing. I went to Disney for like a week, Matt, and I literally only walked into the Disney like I think 2 days, and one of those 2 days I ran the marathon. So I hit all the parks, and I just didn't go. I spent so much time at his like hanging out with him that going to lunches and stuff like that and just learning from this guy and it was amazing. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're at lunch and it's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I worked like an hour or two today. He's like, I'm maybe not even an hour, because I'm on vacation, so I try not to work. But the whole time, it's like his phone just keeps lighting up with emails of sales. It's like this is where I want to head, and what I've been able to do this year is while I've definitely invested more than an hour a day, even with Ava being here, and it's just been tough because like a lot of times I'm like, oh, I gotta work, if you can't see on we're streaming on Facebook Live, by the way. Or you can go to YouTube, superjoepardo.com/tube. I'm scratching myself because it's like I gotta do more things. I gotta make it happen. And this year it's proven to me. I've proven to myself that I can do what I did last year and amplify it, and just keep doing more and more of the things that work. And the conference is one of them, just being able to connect with other people, being able to put on an amazing experience for people that like people came from Georgia, Florida, and people are coming from the UK and California this year. Things like that, like like the money doesn't matter as much to me as those experiences and the experiences that I'm able to give to other people. That's really what matters to me. Now, at the end of the day, I still would like to, keep my house and keep everything going, obviously. But the conference is part of that, and it's part of it in a way that like it opens me up to a lot more things, like because I get to connect with those people. So it's not necessarily measured in dollars and cents, but it's measured in relationships and being able to network with other people to maybe get other, clients, things I can help with. So that just goes to show you, like, there's other ways of doing it than just putting, trading dollars for hours. And that's really what, while I kind of do have to trade dollars for hours in some cases with some of my services that I offer, it's not the end all be all, and it's not really the end goal for where I'm heading. So I want people to understand this idea that like this journey for me, while it's been 2.5 years, I mean, it has not been easy. There's been plenty of days where I'm depressed and just want to go lay on the couch and want it to just be over. But at the same time, it's so rewarding that all the friends that I've made in the last, like a year ago, I knew a couple of people from around the world, right? Or no, 2.5 years ago, I knew a couple of people. Now I know like pretty much you name a continent, and I know at least one person on that continent. So to me, that's just, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. So the conference is definitely a big part of that. Offering services to supplement the sales of things that I have, like books, courses, all that stuff. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to be like this hardcore salesperson, because I really do not like being a salesperson. Cold calling, like all that stuff. Ugh, God, I just hate it. Like I hate it. I seriously detest it. For myself, I get it. There's other people that can do it. There's other people that thrive on it. There's other people that live on it. And to a certain extent, being an entrepreneur and doing all these different things, you have to be a salesperson to a certain extent. But I like selling on the merits of what I offer rather than the problem-solving aspect of like, hey, I have this thing that solves a problem. Yeah. It's my computer's like going crazy right now. Windows Defender is like seriously going nuts on me here. Yeah. So what is this? All right. So anyway, that's the big things that I have going on. I still really want to do the YouTube series because like I feel that trying to jam pack all of these topics into an episode, into the pre-show is not ideal. It's just not, because people can't find it, you know. And I watch a lot of YouTube at this point. Like I watch a lot of tech tube people, like technology oriented people, and they all, it's like basically it's like single use case things, like very specific videos. They're only like 5 to 7 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, but usually 5 to 7 minutes. And I want to take all those topics. I have like 250 topics. I could put out an episode like 5 days a week for the next year, and probably still come up with more topics in the meantime, and have the great thing about YouTube though is the ad revenue generation. That's, and being able to reach a broader audience. That's the thing that I would love to do. Now, speaking of a broader audience, Matt, the last 2 weeks for downloads have been like insane.
How so?
Like insane. Like I don't know, hundreds of like, yeah, I guess like hundreds of times more than normal. Because for a while there, I had an issue with my feed, with the feed for the show. So you could only see the last 10 episodes, like on iTunes, which is detrimental. And I guess Stitcher as well. And so somebody shout out to Jessica Rhodes from Interview Connections TV, interviewconnections.com, I think. She pointed out to me that my feed just was not, it was only showing the last 10 episodes. So I was like, oh, that's not good. So I had to go and figure that out, changed it, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm getting like hundreds and hundreds of downloads a day instead of like 50, 10 or 40 or 80 a day. Like, we're getting like 400, 500 downloads a day all of a sudden, ever since I fixed that feed. I don't know if it's for, like, and it's all old episodes too. It's so weird. Like, it's not the newest episode, it's not like, oh, the newest episode, I gotta listen to it. Like,
right, that's what I thought. Maybe people, weren't checking to see if you were still recording because their feed isn't updating, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at all these new episodes that just came out. Let me go download all these. But all old episodes, yeah, I don't know what. I mean, that's great. I just don't know how that would suddenly happen.
I don't know. I guess, well, because every episode isn't necessarily going to appeal to every person, right? But sure, I mean, that's a huge jump to go from like 40 to 80 a day. Sometimes just 5.
Have you been featured somewhere recently?
I mean, well, maybe I did. I don't know. You don't always get to find out stuff like that. Like, I have a couple of Google alerts that are supposed to alert me when something like that happens, but I don't know. So all of a sudden it's like, fix the feed, and then boom, we're going from like anywhere between 5 and 80 a day, which, days vary, to we have days with 300, 400, 500, upwards of almost 600. So I don't know what happened.
I'll be honest, I got bored. I made 500 new accounts.
You got 500 iTunes accounts? Is that what is this Silicon Valley now?
I'm trying to help you out. That's it.
I appreciate it, man. Trying to make me feel better. No, it doesn't bother me. Either way, it doesn't bother me. Like, because I understand the value of the platform that I have, regardless of if 5 downloads are coming in per day, or 500 are coming in a day. Big numbers are nice, but at the end of the day, like, it's how you use your platform. It's not how big it is; it's how you use it, Matt. And that's the most important thing. Seriously, it really is. It is the most important thing. It's how well you use it. And I use it to the most fullest to my ability, whether it comes to speaking or writing books or any of that stuff. So it's like, that's really when you're building a platform, like that's what it's about, is utilizing it to the fullest potential. Not getting hung up on like, oh, I didn't get on iTunes new and noteworthy. Oh, I didn't get this. Oh, I didn't get that. Like, don't worry about that. You got to do it, and people got to trust you, and trust takes a long time to build. And you just have to keep doing it. So like, 240, this is episode 243, Matt. I mean, how many shows have you? I know you listen to a lot of podcasts. Are there a lot of shows that you listen to that have gotten over this number?
No, very few actually make it that far. Most shows, they tend to peter out, and for a variety of reasons. People's personal lives change, viewership drops off, or they just get bored with it.
I mean, it's definitely possible to get bored with it. I could totally see that, and that's one of the reasons why. Look, we changed the show up, or I changed the show up, and added guest hosts like you to come to the show, guest hosts like Ava to drop in and disrupt the show, adding more of a live aspect where we're recording live here on Facebook and it's going to YouTube, and if things don't go right, then that it is what it is because I don't have the time to edit, but that's the magic, in my opinion. That's the magic of like right now, just closing your eyes and transporting yourself into this studio, this room right here, right now, and being here. The sounds of the room. I mean, this is what you're hearing if you're here. To try to go after that idea of like, oh, this has got to be NPR. Well, they have a studio that is like, sound treated, and they have a way more expensive mics than I have. Not that my mics are cheap, but they have way more expensive mics than I have. So and sure, I could strive for all that stuff. We could move over across the way into the theater room where it's sound treated, and it would sound a lot, not as reverby and stuff like that. But you know what? It's important to, like, this is what it is. This is what it is, and oh well. So yeah, so I like I said, I have a ton of topics I want to talk about, and the thing, I guess I just have been kind of holding myself back a little bit in doing it, mostly because of time, mostly because I have other things that are a little bit more important than that, like writing my third book, which I'm super excited about. In fact, I figured out that, and have I told you what I want to do for the cover?
No.
So what I want to do is I want a book cover that doesn't stand out like a sore thumb from my other two book covers. So if you don't know, my other two books, I hand drew the covers for both of them. And, some people love it. There's a couple people that I've ran into that really didn't like it, that think that the cover should be more professional or this or that. And so I had this dilemma where it's like, okay, I'm going to write a business book. It's a business book about how to save your business because sales aren't going to do it. But when I have my other two books sitting next to it, I don't want it to like stick out like a sore thumb. Like, hey, what's up with these two, marker drawn covers, and then you have this professional looking cover here that looks kind of boring. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a professional cover made by maybe my friend Dave Senior. He was on the show like way back in like, I think like the episode like 30 or 20 or something like that. Like you go way back and you can check him out. He does amazing work he's done magazines and stuff like that. So he would do amazing work. And then what I want to do is I want to add my own touch to it. So like I would maybe like add some flair, if you will, to the cover with like a marker. Using like a magic marker, or not a magic marker, like a Sharpie marker. So that when you see my books next to the other two books, it isn't like, oh, so those are the kid books and this is the business book. It'll look like a business book, but it's gonna have my touch on it, and I think it has to, because again, not just because it has to look good, or it has to not good, but good next to the other two books, but because I really feel like it's important that people understand that this person named Joe Pardo isn't just another suit guy, or this person that's Joe Pardo isn't. I quit corporate America and decide I'm never gonna wear a tie. I'm only gonna wear tie dye. That's not me either. There's like a middle ground here, and that's where I walk the line of being myself, and knowing what it is that I want out of a design. So yeah, so it's gonna be a professional looking ish cover, with some flair to make up for the fact that I want it to represent me, and have a bit of me in there. So yeah, so I've been formulating the book. I haven't written the outline yet. If pro tip, if you're gonna write your book, just write the outline first, because it's gonna be so much quicker to write a book once you have that outline, because you're basically just gonna fill in the blanks between, because you're already gonna know what to talk about because it comes from your heart. Unless you gotta do research, even then, an outline would make so much easier, because you won't miss things in the steps in which you want to talk about them, and you can reorganize them before you already have like, oh, now I have entire chapters that I have to read through to figure out if this paragraph belongs here, if it should belong in this other chapter, or anything like that. So do an outline. It's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to make your book very much better. Good book. Reading is knowledge. Or math is I don't know, something like that.
I would just a blank white cover.
A blank white cover.
And then you could have like little magnets that ship with it, and people could just make their own title for the book.
You know how expensive that would be?
Or stickers instead of magnets, if you want to cut costs a little bit.
Stickers could work. I mean, well, because magnets would have to have like a piece of metal inside of it. So metals are expensive. Metal is expensive. Magnets are expensive. So magnets, I like the idea, because you could like play around with it. It would be creative. Ooh, what if instead you had like every letter was a magnet, so then you could like write your own messages from the Sales Won't Save Your Business title, and then you could see what people come up with. I don't know.
And people could email those pictures to you, and you could post them on your site.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. I like that idea. I don't like how much it's going to cost to do it. Though maybe I'll check on like Alibaba, and I could do it. The only problem is selling it through Amazon. So I would have to ship every book at that point. That's the thing. So if I, when I sell the book, or I could do 2 versions of the book, but then that's just more cost and more headache. And, I'm all about the art. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I really want to make sure that it's not a complete nightmare logistically, especially with only working 20 to 25 hours a week once MapCon ends. And I should note that when I switch down to 20 to 25 hours a week, that's only for now. That's only because Melissa will be working every day. So somebody like I can't expect somebody to watch Ava every single day of the week. But when like summer comes around, maybe I'll kick it up a notch, work a little bit longer or something. I don't know, something to that effect. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe at some point I won't. She won't have to work, and then I can work more out. That will be my reward. You make enough money that you can work even more hours, so that somebody else doesn't have to work. That's the goal. No, actually, to me, the goal really is to get it to a point where I can outsource using VAs, virtual assistants, so that like I only have to work maybe 10 hours a week, and then work it down from there. I mean, 10 hours a week isn't a lot, 2 hours a day, but I think in 2 to 3 years, I think we could achieve that goal, given the current trajectory that I'm on right now. So it's not impossible. It's and it's not for everyone. And I know there's a book from Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week, and I've never read it. I don't plan on ever reading it. I don't feel that there's a need for me to read it. Because I have my own plan. I know myself, and I know how I work, and I know which opportunities I want to go after. So we'll see. We'll see. The ultimate goal is to get it down. I think at 10 hours, but of course 10 hours a week like that at that point, 2-3 years from now, at that point it would open me up to like be able to use that time to write more books. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about work. I'm not talking about like replying to a couple emails or a couple Facebook messages. I can do that from the couch from my phone. That's not the work I'm talking about. I'm talking about like here in my studio, working on content, creation, working on clients' websites, working on clients' Facebook ads, that kind of work. Like the work stuff, not, you know, writing books or as you can see behind me, my turntables have been quite lonely, and I really need to get back to using them because I want to do a follow-up album to Adventuratorium, but I can't do that if I'm working, you know, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Like I can't do it. I can't justify it because it takes that long to do an album like that, especially since I'm so rusty at this point that it's going to take me a while to get back on the ball. So yeah, so we're going to start with 20 to 25 hours a week. I don't know if it's going to work out. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you know, we'll adjust. I mean, that includes going and speaking too. So like when I do these Rotary clubs, it takes a half hour to get there, half hour to get back, plus like an hour and a half meeting or whatever. You know, that's 2.5 hours of like work time that I'm going to deduct out of my 2 hour or my 20 to 25 hours. So we'll see. I think I can do it. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be more tough for me, not the money side of things, more tough for me to turn myself off to like, I got to be working. I need to be bringing in more income. I need to help more people. I need to keep running faster, harder, stronger, longer. That's really the tough part for me. Whew, man, that was a mouthful. So yeah, Matt, has there been any stories or anything that you've seen lately that jump out at you that maybe you want to bring in?
Yeah, news-wise, no, nothing's really caught my attention or. Yeah, I mean, obviously everything right now is kind of focused on the Olympics, but you know that.
I thought you were gonna say the election.
Well, yeah, that too. You know, what can we really say that people haven't already said? I mean.
Well, Trump can think of a few things.
Yeah, no, I been checking the news, but Google News, I mean, it's no really mind blowing stories, nothing really got me thinking. So, but not every week can be it could be super exciting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Have you seen anything? Maybe I missed something.
I mean, I felt. I'll bring up the story about the kid that lives around the corner from me. I didn't even realize it was a kid that ran it. He had a fruit and veggie stand, a 12-year-old kid, and somebody decided that they needed the fruits and veggies so badly that they decided to steal from the stand that he had out in front of his house. It's been there for quite a while, actually. I don't remember when I first noticed it, but it's been there for quite a while, and. Unfortunately, somebody decided to steal from his thing. They took they took everything off of it. Really, really horrible. There's that word disparaging again. We should have like a word of the week. Like we could do like Pee-wee, you know? Is it the secret word?
Yeah, I really don't think this is the format for secret words. I mean,
is that what it's called? Was it called the secret word? Or the word of the week? I
don't remember.
I figure we just yell at the mic after every time somebody says it.
I think people will get real old real fast as far as that goes.
I don't know. I mean, Pee-wee seemed to make a career out of it. Speaking of which, have you watched the new movie yet?
I did. I didn't care for it, but
really, was it more towards the first movie or like the Big Adventure or?
I'd say it was more in the vein of the second movie.
The Big Top, Pee-wee's Big Top something.
But it felt like it lacked direction and it wasn't any standout moments. I mean, the first, but again, in the first movie, you get Tim Burton involved, and he always puts a certain stylistic spin on things. Yeah,
darkness.
Definitely. I mean, the Large Marge scene I think is probably the biggest standout for that film. Yeah, this movie just. I don't know. It almost played it too safe. I mean, compared to the stuff he's done on stage, and I like Pee-wee. It's neat that the guys managed to make a comeback after all these years. But the movie was just very mediocre. It didn't really. It wasn't any particular thing. It wasn't wacky. It wasn't really zany. It wasn't anything memorable.
It just played it safe and Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like like a TV movie of the week. I mean, and I don't blame Netflix for that because I mean, look at some of the stuff like Stranger Things. I mean, like that show is so good, and that's and hell, there's a whole string of Netflix shows that have been really good.
That's true. They've been knocking it out of the park.
So,
well, they got to keep people interested in staying with their service. Especially with competition from Hulu.
I think like Netflix and even places like Stars and some of these other networks know that people are only going to subscribe for a certain amount of time for the next season of Walking Dead or Evil Dead or whatever the hot show is that season, Game of Thrones, and then cancel and then wait for a while and come back again. But
right.
Even then, I mean they're not stupid. They know when their subscriptions are going up. It's like, oh, people are subscribing to Stars all of a sudden. Must be because this Bruce Campbell thing's taken off, or everybody's subscribing to HBO because Game of Thrones new season just started. So I mean they're banking on that. And that's how these shows continue to get made. But Pee-wee, if he does another movie, I would be surprised. Oh. I mean, based on this, it just was nothing.
Well, did your niece watch it?
No, she wasn't even interested.
Oh. So, well, I didn't know if maybe it would, just because it's not interesting to you, it might be interesting.
We watched a couple episodes of the original TV show,
and she like that?
Yeah, she does. I mean, because it's like a live action cartoon for the most part. I did read the Casey Gaines wrote a really good book about behind the unofficial guide to Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's all about the behind the scenes stuff, and I learned a lot. It's always neat to me the technical aspect of things, how they pull off all these different live action puppets and then the penny claymation and that type of thing. So, and also I guess all the drama behind the scenes, behind this kids show.
Yeah.
But it seems like anything worth watching or experiencing, the creative minds always tend to butt heads. I mean, it's just it's just how it is.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we can wrap up here because we still have an interview with Christian Leonard that's going to be coming up after the jump. So yeah, if you want to come out to the Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference, if you have a podcast, if you want to start a podcast, this is definitely your opportunity to come out to the Philly area. It includes lunch and a whole bunch of other stuff. You go to midatlanticpodcast.com. If you want to get $10 off the ticket, it's midatlanticpodcast.com/discount. And there's just a whole host of things you're going to get. And also you can go to moviemail.com and join the motivational mail through snail mail community. I'm just like so tired. And I still have an interview I'm doing later with Samantha Riley, who was on my show a while back. So motivational mail community. It's through the snail mail, so you send it through the post office, and we take your letter, your inspirational quotes, your inspirational wristbands, whatever it is that you can fit into an envelope. Send it to us. We send it off to another member, and then you get a letter from another member that you don't know who it's going to or where it's going. And that's really what it's about, is bringing people together. And we have a whole Facebook community that we're building right alongside with it, so we can do all kinds of fundraising and stuff like that for great causes. So go check it out, moviemail.com. It's only $3.99 now a month, so you can get signed up. You can even get, I think, 10% off if you sign up for a year if you scroll to the bottom of the site. So go get signed up. It's going to be awesome. And there's a video there that I've voiced over too. So you can check that out right at the top. All right, and so stay tuned after the jump. Christian Leonard is coming up. She has some awesome stuff going on. She was recently Three Rivers Festival Queen down in West Virginia and is on her way to competing for Miss West Virginia. She's only 19 years old, so she still has quite a few years to make that happen if it doesn't happen for her this time around. But I really think she has a good shot. All right, have a great week, everyone, and happy Sunday if you're watching the live show on Facebook Live.